On News2, a St. Croix man was found shot to death Saturday afternoon in the David Jackson Housing Terrace in Christiansted. Police continue to search for suspects.
I've been proven wrong. Mr. Dow has flip-flopped.
Work resumes on Bournfield Housing Community Rehabilitation Project. An update on repairs to the 42 occupied units. Plus, the seeds were planted years ago and today it has grown into the best. Hello, welcome, and thank you for joining us on this edition of News2. I'm Sandra Gomansing. Well, this weekend marked the 42nd Annual Agriculture and Food Fair celebration on St. Croix, and thousands came out to the Ruby Lang Fairgrounds to experience a little bit of everything from local foods, arts and crafts, exotic plants and animals, to live entertainment, games, and cultural demonstrations. News2's Janisha John brings us more from this year's Ag Fair.
I wish you a warm welcome to the 42nd Annual Agriculture and Food Fair. I wish you a warm welcome to your fair, and I wish you a warm welcome to the Ruth D. Lang Fairgrounds.
Were just some of the welcoming words to officially kick off the 42nd Annual Agriculture and Food Fair on St. Croix. The annual fair drew thousands to the Ruth D. Lang grounds, encouraging visitors to grow, eat, and live through agriculture.
This particular event is a part of a bigger picture, a part of a bigger vision to continue growing this important industry of agriculture.
And while agriculture is the main reason that many come out to the weekend activities, the fair hosts a little bit of everything, from local food, live entertainment, arts and crafts, children's games, and more. There's something for everyone to enjoy.
Favorite elements is going to see the animals as well as the plants and so forth, to see all of the different agriculture and whatnot.
Loving the fair, it's great. You know, all the animals and all the shops and food. The food's great. I love the food. It's awesome.
I just need a Johnny cake and a passion fruit juice and I am straight.
I like the jewelry, number one. My grandma likes doing the fruits and vegetable stuff. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Though there were many reasons to attend the Ag Fair, one thing that many appreciate is the culture shared throughout the three-day event.
Fair is an important part of our culture because it keeps everything alive. It allows people to taste and witness and experience different things, from the animals to the foods to the art.
I think I'm learning a little bit more about the island. I've been here a few years and, never really got to experience it this much. I'd definitely come back tomorrow, future years. If I don't live here, I'd come back for it. It's a lot of fun.
Janisha John, News2.
Department of Agriculture officials also awarded several prizes at this year's Agriculture and Food Fair, starting with naming Abrera Bulbula as the Crop Farmer of the Year at the opening ceremonies on Saturday. Bulbula is a tropical fruit grower on St. Croix, and this was his 5th time receiving that honor. Officials also awarded the Livestock Farmer of the Year prize to Pedro Gonzalez for prize-winning swine. Gonzalez is a 3rd-generation farmer who manages 250 acres of farmland. This was Gonzalez's 1st time receiving the award. Additional awards were presented to Grisel Davila, the owner of Tropical II Nursery, who officials named the fair's Farmers Market after. Officials also named the Food Pavilion after Corliss Wilson Nathaniel and the Livestock Pavilion after the Thomas family for all their dedication to promoting agriculture in the territory. Well, St. Croix recorded its first murder Saturday afternoon when a man was gunned down in the David Hamilton Jackson Housing Community. Criminal detectives are looking into a fatal shooting that happened after 3 when police responded to shots fired in the area and found Winston Phillips of Basin Triangle unresponsive. EMT officials on the scene confirmed that there were no vital signs. No other details were available, but the Avis reported that a masked gunman wearing a blue shirt shot the victim multiple times. Police urge anyone with information to call 911 or Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS. Residents of the Bournfield area are upset with VI Port Authority's new director, Carlton Dow, after comments were made that they still plan to demolish the units, 42 of which are still occupied. One resident says it's nothing new for the tenants, but she's disappointed with what she calls a flip-flop in attitude. News2's Erica Bivens reports.
It's the same plan, different director. I am exceedingly disappointed in Mr. Dow at this point.
Longtime Bournfield resident Josephine Lindquist is speaking about her landlord, the VI Port Authority, specifically their new director, Senator Carlton Dow, who recently spoke out about plans to demolish the Bournfield units, plans they thought had changed.
Information like this should have been passed on to the tenants in a meeting. He had the opportunity to speak to 15 tenants during a 6 p.m. meeting on January 23rd, in which they were being told, the priority status of when their units would be fixed. But Mr. Dow came in, he said 2 seconds of something, and then he left.
A VI Port Authority press release issued Thursday doesn't mention demolition, but does state a company has been hired to do repairs to the 42 occupied units.
The release states work began January 31st and that it would be done in groups of 15 units per phase, with each phase to be completed within 90 days. But Lindquist says that timeline is a bit ambitious.
If you're going to do 15 units in 90 days, you can't spend more than 6 days in each unit if you're breaking it down like that. Right now, they've spent almost 3 weeks in one unit alone.
Lindquist says the $100,000 budget doesn't make sense.
You're talking a little over $2,000 per unit if you're talking $100 for 42 units, yet the scope of worksheet states that it's $4,000 per unit with the 15 units that are set in priority.
Lindquist says they're still pursuing home ownership and hope the repairs are completed while many continue to upkeep their units on their own. For News 2, I'm Erica Bivens.
Now, News 2 reached out to Senator Dow's office, but because of the holiday, we were told to try again tomorrow. To date, Port Authority has not released set plans for the area or relocation site for the current tenants. On Saturday, the VI Joint Board of Elections met on St. Croix. Alicia Wells from the St. Thomas St. John District Board was voted the new Joint Board Chair. Lisa Harris-Moorhead from the St. Croix District was voted Vice Chair, and Atora Watlington, Chair of the St. Thomas St. John District, was nominated Secretary. St. Croix Deputy Supervisor of Elections James Weber will also take over supervisory responsibility for the District of St. Croix. Normally, Supervisor of Elections John Abramson would maintain that role for both districts. However, Abramson is out on medical leave until May 31st, which is also his date of resignation. The Democratic Party of the VI heard from a special guest during their territorial committee meeting Friday night. The president of the Association of State Democratic Chairs, Raymond Buckley, shared his story of why he became a Democrat and offered advice to the members about how they can inject some energy back into the party. News 2's Erica Parsons has that story.
The Republicans think through every issue is how does that affect me personally, or my immediate family, or the 50 people that I care about on this world? We first say, how is this going to affect the world? It's not about me, it's about we.
And that was the catchphrase State Democratic Chair President Raymond Buckley used several times during his message to the Democratic Party of the Virgin Islands. Those members included the delegate and all the Democratic senators except Donald Cole, who was excused.
I was very glad that we had many of our leaders and the Democratic leaders in that meeting, because we saw the need to work together as a family, as a unit. And believe me, with the makeup of this 30th legislature, I believe we can accomplish our goals.
Senate President Sean Michael Malone said his takeaway was repurposing the party.
I think we have a wonderful opportunity. I think his message is timely, that we have a Democratic majority in the Senate, we have a Democratic delegate, a Democratic governor, lieutenant governor, to really bring all of these resources together and find our way once again, our purpose for why we're Democrats.
Buckley told the members even though they don't have a direct vote for president, as Democrats, they can still make a difference.
While we're in the struggle of getting the vote here, you still can make a significant impact of the people that are out there on the rest of the states. If they're relatives or friends or people that you've known, or if even that were visitors here, making sure that they're registered and making sure that they show up and inspire them to work hard for the Democratic ticket.
He also said inspiring the youth of today will create the leaders of the Democratic Party tomorrow. Erica Parsons, News 2.
The White House is being criticized after a draft of its immigration plan leaked over the weekend. Republicans working to craft a bipartisan immigration plan say the administration is trying to score political points. The Obama administration says that's not the case. Danielle Nottingham reports from Washington.
Republicans are accusing the president of playing politics for quietly putting together an immigration plan behind lawmakers' backs.
The question that we always have to ask ourselves, particularly with this White House, is the president looking for a partisan advantage, or is he looking for a bipartisan law?
The immigration proposal was leaked to the press over the weekend. It would allow some illegal immigrants to become permanent residents within 8 years, boost funding for border security, and require businesses to know the immigration status of their workers. But the president's new chief of staff says the draft is only a backup if Congress can't reach a deal.
We will be prepared with our own plan if these ongoing talks between the Republicans and Democrats up on Capitol Hill break down.
Republicans say they are successfully working with Democrats towards a bipartisan deal, and the leaked White House proposal threatens to derail that process. Republican Marco Rubio, one of the senators working on a plan, says the White House draft would be dead on arrival in Congress. Democrats on the Hill insist the president is committed to working with lawmakers.
He agreed to give us the space we need to come up with a bipartisan proposal.
But the president has warned that if Congress doesn't reach a deal, he will deliver his own bill and demand a vote. Danielle Nottingham, News 2.
And keeping our eye on the economy, the markets were closed for President's Day. Countries throughout Europe are finding more traces of horse meat in the beef supply. Millions of burgers and frozen meals sold at supermarkets have been recalled. Tests also discovered horse meat in school meals and hospital food in the UK. It's believed some of the horse meat was mixed in with beef at a French processing plant and then shipped out. This is the New York Stock Exchange with Scotiabank's Stock Market Watch. The Dow up 8, NASDAQ and S&P down 6 and 1. Coming up on News 2. What is President's Day all about? A little history refresher for you. Meanwhile, what is it like to be the president for a day? UVI's president, Dr. David Hall, and a selected UVI student stepped into each other's shoes and swapped roles just for the day. Highlights coming up. Virgin Islands Fire Services got 13 life-saving batteries Friday for their automated external defibrillators, or AEDs. The Juan Louis Hospital donated $2,100 to the AED Fund initiative started by Share Will at the St. Croix Foundation. The money paid for 21 new batteries and will replace the other AED batteries for the VIPD, Government House, and Sports, Parks, and Recreation that are close to expiration. The AEDs buy time to get someone to the hospital who went into sudden cardiac arrest.
Governor Juan F. Louis Hospital has been a strong supporter of Ms. Will for the last 4 or 5 years of this project, and we're really happy to donate a little bit of money to her big work that she's done.
You would not believe how pleased I am that Juan F. Louis Hospital has supported me. This really is so important. The batteries need to be replaced every 4 years, and I was wondering where on earth am I going to get the money to do that, and Juan Louis Hospital stepped up.
It's been a great pleasure to having all AEDs and all the stations and also the units, and since then we have used them, utilized them on victims out there in the community, and on behalf of the fire service, I'm very appreciative.
Ira Mills has been appointed as tax assessor of the Virgin Islands by Lieutenant Governor Gregory Francis. Lieutenant Governor Francis says Mills' appointment reflects his commitment to improve the overall operations of the Division of Real Property with a focus on greater efficiency in collecting property tax revenue. Mills joined the office of the Lieutenant Governor in January 2011 and served as the Director of Business and Financial Management prior to his appointment as tax assessor. Before joining the office of the Lieutenant Governor, he served as Chief Financial Officer at the Virgin Islands Housing Authority and as the Director of the Virgin Islands Office of Management and Budget. President's Day is a day set aside to look back at some of the presidents, their influence, and some of their history-making moments. The holiday honors the birthday of first President George Washington. Records show that George Washington's birthday is on February 22nd, and also the 16th U.S. President Abraham Lincoln's birthday. It's also a day for many to examine the current president and how his term is shaping up. Washington's birthday is sometimes known as President's Day because while most states have adopted Washington's birthday, some states officially celebrate President's Day. George Washington was the first president of the United States of America. His first term as president was from 1789 to 1793, and his second term from 1793 to 1797. Before he became president, he played important roles in the military, leading the American Continental Army to victory over the British in 1783. And just last month, President Barack Obama's inauguration was held on the U.S. Capitol in front of a crowd of approximately 800,000. The president took his historical oath of office and made his inauguration address. The 44th president, Barack Obama, is the first African American to not only be nominated by a major party, but also to win the presidency of the United States. Meanwhile, the president of the University of the Virgin Islands, Dr. David Hall, swapped roles with a student on Monday. Marsha Lawrenson got a glimpse into Dr. Hall's role as she served as president for a day, attending meetings throughout the day like this one with the president's cabinet. Dr. Hall was also able to relive student life by attending Lawrenson's classes, including a hands-on dissection of a lionfish. The two are scheduled to give a report on their experience with role swapping Thursday at 2 p.m. Stick around, your News 2 AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.